Hello students, good time to all. I am Chandan Kumar Pradhan. Welcome to the YouTube channel Chandan Physics. In this video, we are going to discuss feedback in amplifier. Let's begin. Feedback, the process of transfer of energy from the output of a system to its input is known as feedback. If that process is taken in place of an amplifier, then we call it as feedback amplifier. The amplifier in which the output energy is feedback to the input is known as feedback amplifier. It is classified as two types. One is negative feedback, another one is positive feedback. So, what is negative feedback? If the feedback voltage is in opposite phase with the input signal, then it is known as negative feedback. That be the amplifier. If we provide the input signal, here we obtain the output, that one is the feedback network. Feedback network may contain active elements or passive elements. Active elements like resistor, capacitor or inductor. These are the passive elements: resistor, capacitor and inductor. The active element like transistor. Whatever may be that electronic elements are used in that of feedback network. As we say, feedback amplifier, the output of that amplifier to that of feedback network, and after that the output from that of feedback network to the input of that of amplifier. In case of negative feedback, the feedback voltage is in opposite phase with the input signal. If I take the input signal, positive half cycle, negative half cycle, as use amplifier, so that signal is amplified, at the output we obtain the amplified signal with the same phase. Now that amplified signal to the input of that feedback network, and after that feedback network we obtain the signal just out of phase. As a result, the magnitude of that of input signal decreases. That type of feedback is known as negative feedback. If the feedback voltage is in opposite phase with that of input signal, then it is called negative feedback. Due to that of negative feedback, the magnitude of input signal decreases and overall gain of that of amplifier also decreases. And that type of feedback we call as inverse feedback or degenerative feedback. Next, in case of positive feedback, if the feedback voltage is in same phase with that of input signal, then it is known as positive feedback. That is out of phase, that happen in case of negative feedback. In negative feedback, but in case of positive feedback, let the output from that of feedback network is at the same phase. So it enhances the magnitude of that of input signal, that happen in case of positive feedback. In case of positive feedback, the signal is in that of same phase. If the feedback voltage is in same phase with that of input signal, then it is known as positive feedback, and it enhances the magnitude of input signal and the overall gain of that of amplifier increases. In other words, the type of feedback is known as direct feedback or regenerative feedback. In this way, we classify feedback as two types. One is negative feedback, another one is positive feedback. Now, we mathematically shown how the voltage gain in case of that type of feedbacks. Mathematically, we can easily shown the voltage gain in case of feedbacks, either that one is negative or positive feedback. Consider an amplifier. Amplifier with voltage gain, let capital A. The signal voltage Vs. The output voltage Vo, and that output voltage is measured across the load resistance RL. Use a feedback network that feedback network may use active or passive elements. Passive elements like resistor, capacitor or inductor, active elements like transistor. It has the feedback fraction beta. positive, next negative, that positive end, the signal voltage, here the input voltage to that of amplifier, V input, and the feedback network, after that a feedback network, the voltage, the feedback voltage Vf. Here Vs, this signal voltage, Vi input voltage, Vo output voltage, Vf that is the feedback voltage. And A is the voltage gain, that is output voltage to input voltage, output voltage divided by input voltage. Here let A is the output voltage, that is Vo divided by input voltage Vi. On that way we can calculate V output as A times of V input, that equation number 1. So that output Vo is equal to A times of that of V input. A is the voltage gain. Next beta, which is called the feedback fraction, that feedback fraction is less than 1, and that feedback fraction we define feedback voltage to that of output voltage, that is output voltage to input voltage. In that of feedback fraction, the output voltage is the feedback voltage to that of input voltage, that is the output voltage of that of amplifier. So in feedback fraction, that is feedback voltage divided by output voltage, means output to input. Here the output is Vf, input is the Vo, or beta is equal to feedback voltage to that of output voltage Vo. Therefore feedback voltage is equal to beta times of output voltage, that equation number 2. In case of negative feedback, what happened, that feedback voltage is to be subtracted from that of signal voltage in order to calculate the input voltage. For negative feedback, Vi input voltage is equal to signal voltage minus feedback voltage. For negative feedback, that feedback voltage is subtracted from that of signal voltage in order to find out that input voltage. As a result, V of S is equal to Vi plus Vf. The value of Vf is put here. Therefore, Vs is equal to Vi plus Vf as beta times of Vo, or Vs is equal to Vi plus beta, again the value of Vo as AVi or Vs is equal to, taking Vi as common, 1 plus A beta, equation number 3. Now, for negative feedback, we can calculate the voltage gain. Therefore, voltage gain in negative feedback, it is output voltage to input voltage, Vs, or voltage gain A dash, that voltage gain for that of negative feedback. When we negative feedback is applied, so what be the voltage gain that can be measured out, the output voltage to that of input voltage. Here the output voltage Vo, input voltage Vs, Vo divided by Vs. So Vo A times of Vi, divided by Vs as Vi whole into 1 plus A beta. Vi cancel out. Therefore, voltage gain A dash is equal to A divided by 1 plus A beta. For this expression, we can easily show the voltage gain of that of amplifier decreases with that of negative feedback. For that of negative feedback, therefore, voltage gain of the amplifier decreases with negative feedback. As that point we mentioned in the feature of negative feedback, the overall gain of that of amplifier decreases. Mathematically we show the gain is decreases. means if beta increases, A dash decreases. For that reason we called voltage gain of that of amplifier decreases with negative feedback. Here we write if beta increases, then A dash decreases. Beta increases, A dash decreases. So that point we write voltage gain of that of amplifier decreases with negative feedback. Next, what happened for that of voltage gain for positive feedback? For positive feedback, what happened that Vf means feedback voltage is now added to that of signal voltage in order to find that input voltage. For positive feedback, input voltage is equal to signal voltage plus feedback voltage. So signal voltage, now signal voltage is equal to Vi minus Vf, or signal voltage is equal to Vi minus Vf beta times of Vo, or Vs is equal to Vi minus, in place of Vo, A times of Vi, that is beta A Vi. Vi as common, 1 minus A beta, equation number, that is equation number 4 or equation number 5. Therefore, the voltage gain in case of positive feedback, output voltage to that of input voltage, let voltage gain A prime Vs Vo is equal to A times of Vi divided by Vi whole into 1 minus A beta. Vi cancel out, therefore A dash is equal to A divided by 1 minus A beta. Look that expression, if beta increases, then what happened? A dash increases. If beta increases, then A dash also increases, as that one is 1 minus something. That's why we write voltage gain of the amplifier increases with positive feedback. Voltage gain of the amplifier increases with positive feedback. As we mentioned a point here, the overall gain of that amplifier increases, and mathematically we show what be the voltage gain in case of positive feedback. So here, with the help of this video lecture, we understand the concept of feedback in amplifier. What is the feedback in amplifier? Its type as negative feedback and positive feedback. mathematically we show what be the voltage gains respective feedbacks, as voltage gain in negative feedback and voltage gain in positive feedback. So, with this useful and informative notes, let me wind up this session. Thank you.